Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to TMP Finance, where we make long and short-term investing simple. And I just want to say a quick congrats to everybody who has placed a trade when I was suggesting to place a trade in the NASDAQ, which was over here on April 24th. So the open of April 24th, I let people know, buy the positions, and if you were listening there and you weren't biased and you weren't scared of the bullshit news to sell your position that were going 80% lower and you stuck true to a trade plan and to what the chart's telling you, you would have made 18 to 19% there. So congrats to everybody there. We're technically at an all-time high. This is the highest we've ever closed out for the NASDAQ. We have been higher, but momentarily. So I will call this an all-time high, and I said in my previous videos that if we did break above this 22,100 support level, that this would be a fantastic contender for a nice all-time high rally. And this is blue skies territory, and how high we go, again, sky's the limit there. But that being said, there is a lot of bullish momentum to be seen in the NASDAQ there. So before we take a look at where you can expect the NASDAQ to go, let's just take a quick look at the heat map over here for the NASDAQ 100, and we can see it's been very green here. It's been very green for NVIDIA and a lot of the chip companies here, AMD, Intel has been up quite a bit, and we will take a look at that momentarily, but everything else has been very solid. Technology, electronics, I'm liking it a lot. So pop on over to the NASDAQ 100 over here, and very simple what you're doing here, and I will show you some more confirmation just in case you don't believe in support and resistance or whatever. But let's take a look at the Bollinger Bands, and we can see here that we did receive a break above the upper Bollinger Band, which is extremely bullish. And typically when we do see a break above, you get these very, very nice rallies. And let's just find like an example of where we see a break above one, which can be seen right over here, and then we get all-time highs. You know, and then that can be shown. That was just a very weak example. There's a lot more stronger examples like this one over here, where you just receive these huge bullish rallies. And last time that we saw one this significant after a big bear trend, we got a huge move to the upside for the NASDAQ as well. So how high did we go in the NASDAQ? It can't be said, but very simple. As long as you're buying as soon as we, break above the previous day high, and that you're not getting overly bearish for no reason, even if it's just, a bearish day but doesn't have much significant weight, just keep holding as we're, in new all-time high territory. Again, you never want to be shorting or holding in cash because the NASDAQ is bound to go up. It goes up every year, about an average of 13%. So you're kind of, you're betting against the best odds that the NASDAQ will continue to go up. So don't hold yourself back. Just keep that position running. And that's pretty much it. Only time that you're getting bearish is if you're seeing either a bearish stall out where you're losing momentum, such as this example here, or a huge bearish engulfing candle like this one over here as well. So that being said, just stay bullish there. What you can be doing is place a trade now if you are interested. And if you're waiting for a little bit more, a little bit safer trade, what you can do is just wait maybe 70 points for the NASDAQ to drop a little bit, just to kind of get somewhat of a retest. And then from there, you can move higher, just based off of support and resistance here. And this isn't a very accurate example. I think that we can move even higher than this, but just off of the support that I have here, I can expect the NASDAQ to move to about 24,000. I think that's a great psychological number for us to move up to. And from now, that is a distance of about 8%. And I think that's very possible. I don't think this year is going to be extremely bullish where we're getting rallies like 30-40%, but I don't think that's going to be bearish. So I think a nice, a nice in-between move of anywhere from about 8 to 10% can be very possible there. So if you are looking to take profit, I think 24, even 25,000 could be a great contender for that. Let's take a look at some individual stocks, and I've been talking about ASML as a stock to be keeping on your radar, and today it pumped up a very nice 4.3%. And very simple here, we have a break of resistance over here, and this is shown to have been a very strong resistance, sitting at about $778 a share. And from here, your trade is extremely simple. We are buying at the break over there. If you haven't bought, you're waiting for a retest. There is a bit of a gap fill that we can come back and just try to fill / retest. And your stop loss is right at the swing low and take profit. You can't have that take profit all the way to the all-time high or previous all-time high or new all-time high, whatever that may be. And that's going to be a fantastic risk-reward ratio. Is that going to happen, in a month or two? Probably not. It's probably going to be a few months, quite a few months, but regardless, if you are a long-term trader, and even if you are a day trader, and you're a good day trader, you are in fact a long-term trader in the sense that it's about longevity, and it's not about rushing your trades. It's about letting it do what it has to do, And what's making you a day trader is that you're taking advantage of short-term price action, and that you are being able to kind of magnify the charts and get in at the best perfect time, or the best timing. So that being said, just let ASML run up, and that's pretty much it. Same thing with AMD. I told you to buy AMD a couple times here, and every single time that I told you to buy AMD, we've received a huge bullish push right after that. AMD's been pumping up quite a bit here, 6.8% today. That's fantastic. Intel has been extremely weak since 2021, especially in 2024 we received a huge drop down. I think this could be another little rally for Intel to go on. Do I expect all-time highs? Probably not, honestly. Again, there's a lot better stocks when it comes to what they're doing when it comes to chips and processing units, but I think Intel can receive a bit of the market share there when it comes to a bit of a bullish rally there. So very simple, we have this falling resistance line over here. What you can be expecting, and I did tell you to buy yesterday, and if you did, you would be up 6.4% today. But what you are doing is you can buy now or wait for a later retest, and you're keeping your stop loss right at the swing low over here. And this has been shown as a very strong support level over here, around $18 or $19 a share. And then from there, I think that you can expect to at least get up to this previous peak over here at $27. And if you want to look for something a little bit higher, you can't just look at where there's a lot of market volume in the past. And we can see that there's been a lot of volume at around this $33 level as well. So I think that could be a very good contender as well, or even the $30 psychological level to take profit at as well. And that's still a pretty good move. Even if you go for $30, that's still a 40% move to the upside. So it's definitely a great trade there. Apple, let's take a look at Apple real quick. And Apple has been in this very strange shape where we have broken above this falling resistance here, but it's not showing a lot of strength. Right now, what I'm really looking out for is not going to be really support resistance too much, just because I don't really have a fantastic support line that's showing a uptrend. And the bearish support line is being chopped and is being broken around. So what I'm looking for right now is a break of a Bollinger Band line. So either the upper band or lower band will tell you pretty much where we're going. And considering that most of these stocks are going to be receiving all-time highs, I think that Apple is lacking behind a lot, and we will be able to see some bullish action in Apple. And I am holding position for Apple for quite a while here. If I did get a break below this 194 level, that would be kind of scary, and I wouldn't like to see that. But I think that Apple has a lot of fear behind it. A lot of investors are hearing about Berkshire Hathaway selling a bit of their share. But if you really look at what percentage of the total shares that Warren Buffett is selling, or whoever's selling, it's really not even 0.1%. Like, it's a ridiculously low amount. So that being said, is there really any rational fear to have when it comes to Apple? And do you really expect this previous all-time high to be the last one? If not, you're placing a trade. And again, this one will take a little while. I think it will probably take anywhere from 1 to 1.5 times the length that it took for the market to fall here. So I think that maybe in about 6 to 8 months, we can expect Apple to move up to 260 at least. Take a look at Google over here. And I think Google has a fantastic trade coming for it as well. We had this this day over here. This was not a great day for Google. They paid out about $4.9 billion to the EU in a lawsuit settlement. And again, lawsuits are just very short-term price action where you don't really see too much. As long as it's not very significant, you don't typically see a lot of back end coming from it. So that being said, it looks like the market was able to recover here. Got a bit of a green day. And if you do want to place a trade now, what you can do, very simple, you're buying right here, stop loss at a swing low below this low over here, because again, this is still a bull trend, and we still can't expect the market to, and let me just grab a trend line here, we still can't expect the market to bounce. And if we take a look, we're pretty close. That was a pretty close move to our support level over here. So if you are looking for a trade, I think you can look for either the previous high that we had in this bull market, or a new higher high as well. So I think that's a great trade for Google, about a 3 to 4% or 3 to 4 time risk to reward ratio, depending on where you're expecting to take profit. But I think this is a great trade to take here. Let's take a look at Microsoft over here. And Microsoft has been incredibly strong. I haven't seen strength like this from Microsoft in quite a while. We are at new all-time highs here. And the thing that I'm seeing here is, I'm not going to say it's a bullish wedge or a bearish wedge or whatever. It is what it is, and right now it's breaking to the upside here. This has been a very strong bullish rally over here. Not just this one, but you already have this gap here, which is extremely large. This is a huge gap over here in the chart. This is about 7%. So I expect this to fill sometime. I'm not going to say soon. I'm just saying sometime in the future because you don't typically see gaps this big going unfilled. The biggest gaps you'll see in Microsoft is about 1% if you go all the way back to 2010. So I think this is be extremely rare and very unlikely to not fill. But that being said, you have massive gaps down below here. You have extremely strong bull rallies. Let's just take a look at the resistance level of Microsoft falling versus the support level, which would probably be looking something like this, which is absolutely ridiculous. I think that Microsoft is going to come back for cooldown, whether it's even just to retest the previous all-time high here. And that being said, you are placing a bit of a short trade over here on Microsoft, and this has pretty good risk-to-reward ratio as well. Your stop loss will be the previous day high of today or yesterday in the trading world, and then you can have your take profit set not at the support here, just because we touched support recently, but about halfway. I think that could be a very good contender for a trade. You're looking at 4.73 risk to reward ratio to the downside as well. We're currently crushing the market here in the TMP Finance Discord community, beating our NASDAQ by about 157%. We're currently up 159.9% when it comes to our NASDAQ trade alerts. And for those trade alerts, if you join the Discord, the link is in the description of this video here. You get all the trades that I take, including stop losses, take profits, and percentage risk allocation. You also get all of the trades for the NASDAQ and stocks to take, free one-on-one sessions, and so much more. So if you are interested and learning how to become a stable day trader that is still making a fantastic profit, and you want to do this with very little effort and very little technical analysis on your end, because it's mostly done by me, come take a look at that link in the description and become a member today and join the community. But that's going to be a wrap for today's video. Thank you very much for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next one. Take care, y'all. Peace.